We are in peak blueberry season right now, guys. And what's the easiest way to preserve a little bit of that summer bounty? Making your own blueberry jam. But not just any blueberry jam. Blueberry lavender jam. Once you try this recipe, you're never going to want another blueberry jam again. I promise you. My name is Candace and you're watching Homestead Wish. Okay guys, we're going to go over the ingredients needed for our blueberry lavender jam. And there's really not many. It's a low sugar recipe. So in here I have 3 cups of sugar. You're going to need a packet of Sure-Jel, which is a low sugar pectin, 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of lavender flowers. And I do want to say something about the lavender. So this is what I bought. On the back it says that it's a culinary lavender. It's really important to not just go out and buy any lavender that you come across, or else your jam could taste like soap or potpourri. And I don't know about you, but soap is not a flavor I'm fond of. You can get this on Amazon. I got this one. It was like $7, and there's 4 ounces in here, and it will last like 2 years, no lie. And then of course we have our blueberries. I'm using 8 cups of blueberries. So we're basically going to start out by making a lavender tea. In here I have our 2 tablespoons of lavender flowers. I'm just going to turn my water on to boil. Once this has come to a boil, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of the boiling water to our jar with our lavender flowers. We're going to let that steep for about 10 minutes, and we're going to continue on with the rest of our recipe. If you've never cooked with lavender before, it kind of adds like a really delicate, nicely floral flavor and undertones to whatever you're using it with. It beautifully complements the sweetness of blueberries, the brightness of citrus and marmalades, and the subtle tartness of peaches. If you go to the farmer's market and buy one of these jams, you're easily going to pay like $6 to $7 per tiny little half-pint jar. So the reason I'm making a lavender tea instead of using just the whole flower buds in the jam is because when you eat the jam, you're going to notice a really chewy texture from the lavender flowers. So instead of adding the whole flowers, I'm just making the tea, adding the flavor that way, and adding the tea to our jam. All right guys, it's jam making time. So I'm going to add all of our fresh blueberries into a heavy bottomed pot. And I'm just going to start coarsely crushing them. You can use a potato masher if you have one. Mine's currently dirty, so I'm just using my meat masher. And you can make this whatever consistency that you like. You can even put these in a blender and blend them up. I do not have my heat on at this point. We're just crushing all of our berries and then adding the rest of our ingredients before we turn the heat on. Oh, that smells so good already.
An eternity later.
All right, I went and cleaned my potato masher because that was taking way too long. All right, I think this consistency is actually very good. If you can see, we have mostly crushed berries, but there are still a few small ones that are whole, and that's fine for me. I don't mind that. And the color is beautiful already on these. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to add our 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, our lavender tea that we made, and our pectin mixture. So what I did was I combined the 1 packet of pectin with just about a 1/4 cup of sugar. No additional sugar, just a 1/4 cup out of the 3 cups that we're using. We do this just so the pectin dissolves better when you add it to your jams. So we're going to go ahead and add that right in. Ooh, you can smell the lavender. Oh, that smells delicious. And we're going to try something together that I normally don't do, but I've heard people do this. And it's supposed to cut down on the foam that you get when you're cooking your jams. Apparently, if you add butter to your jam before it comes to a boil, it's supposed to prevent all that foam from happening. So that's what we're going to try. We'll see if it actually works or not. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon or so of butter right in. Now we can turn our heat on and bring this baby up to a boil. Stirring, it says constantly in the recipe, but you don't have to stir constantly. You just want to stir every now and again to make sure nothing is burning on the bottom of your pan. At this point too, some recipes call for the addition of food coloring to brighten up the color of your jam, but I think this is a beautiful color. It's a beautiful purpley blue. I'm not going to add any food coloring at all, but the choice is yours. We're almost to a boil, but I just wanted to point out how the color has changed. Look at that beautiful deep purple color. And if you guys can see, we're starting to get some of that foam that I was telling you about. So far the butter trick hasn't worked, but we'll see what it turns out to be in the end. All right, I'm calling this good. We're at a boil. So now we're gonna add the rest of our sugar right in. Stir it in and let this whole mixture come up to a full rolling boil, which means that when I stir it, I can't stir away the bubbles. And I'll show you what that means when we get to that point. Again, look at how beautiful this color is. It's so pretty. We are there. I'm gonna set my timer for 1 minute. And this just has to boil for that 1 minute, and then we are done. So I'm gonna continue stirring, just so nothing burns to the bottom. All right, we are done. I'm gonna remove this from the heat while we get our jars ready to be filled. Guys, the butter trick actually worked. I can't believe it. I'll never make jam without it again. It's a thumbs up. So now we're gonna fill our jars to about a 1/4 inch headspace. If you have a headspace measuring tool, this is perfect to use. It's the first notch on the tool. I do wanna show you a trick though. All of the mason jars come with little rings around the rim, okay? So go from the top, go down to the first ring around your rim. That's a 1/4 inch. Watch, I'll show you. So this is a 1/4 inch headspace right here, our little first notch on our headspace measuring tool. If we put it in the jar, it goes to that first ring around our rim. Nifty trick, right? Okay, enough talking. Let's get to filling these jars. And you want your jars to be warm. I had them warming in my canner as I was making the jam. Let's see if we can get 8 like this recipe says. So we ended up with 6.5 jars, which isn't bad at all. This jar I'm not gonna put in my canner. I'll just put it in the fridge and we'll eat it fresh. It won't last long as far as preservation, but I do wanna taste it though. I'm super excited about this. Let's see. Wow. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. I could eat a whole jar of that with a spoon, guys. You're gonna love it. All right, so now we got our jars filled. We have to go around and clean our rims so that way our lids will seal properly. Grab yourself some paper towel. Grab yourself some vinegar. Dip your paper towel into the vinegar and just wipe it along the outside rim of your jar. See, look at all that I got off of there. But be careful doing this because these are still very hot. All right, our jars are nice and clean. Now we can go ahead and add our lids to each jar and our rings. And then into the canner, these go. Fingertip tight on the lids, which means you're just putting the lid on until you meet resistance, giving it maybe a 1/4 inch turn at the most. Our ring is just to hold on our lid. Our lid is what's going to seal and make it shelf stable. Hey guys, I almost forgot. If you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out my small channel and it tells YouTube to bring my videos to more people who might enjoy them. All right, I'm gonna lower these in, see where our water level is. It needs to be about 1 inch or so above the top of our jars. All right, now we're gonna pop our lid on. Bring this to a full rolling boil, okay, the whole pot. So I'm turning my heat up to high. When it gets there, I'll show you what it looks like. Set your timer for 10 minutes. And that's all the time it takes to get blueberry jam that will last up to 18 months on your pantry shelf. Ten minutes later, pull them out, set them on a towel on your counter, and don't touch them, don't tilt them, just let them be. And wait for one of my most favorite sounds in the entire world, that little ping. I know, I'm a big dork, but I'm okay with that. That sound just makes me so happy. That sound means the lid has sealed and your product is now shelf stable for up to 18 months. Ideally, you want these to sit on your counter overnight, but if you're in a hurry to eat your beautiful jam that you just made, the minimum time I would let that sit on your counter is 6 hours. If one doesn't seal, it's not a big deal. Just put it in your fridge and use that one first. All right, it's time for an official taste test, guys. And I know I cheated a little bit earlier by giving it a little tiny taste, but I just couldn't help myself. But this is the jam that we put in the refrigerator, and it has set up beautifully. It's been about an hour or so, but I just want you to see how beautiful and well this set up for me. So I can go like this, and this jam is not going anywhere. So I made some fresh bread yesterday. It's just this regular white sandwich loaf. I'm going to toast this up and we're going to put some of our homemade jam on the toast. All right, here we go. My toast got a little toasty, but that's okay. I don't mind. So good. The blueberry hits first, bright and sweet and a little tart. It's the exact right amount of sugar without overpowering the blueberry, so you get that fresh blueberry taste. And then the lavender comes in right at the end. It's subtle. It's not punching you in the face. There's no soapy taste. It just makes the blueberry taste more blueberry-ish, if that's a word. I may have just made that up, but here we go again. Wow. If you love blueberries, this is the perfect recipe for you. So guys, that's our blueberry lavender jam. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking a few precious moments out of your day to spend a couple of minutes with me. I hope you got something out of this recipe, and I hope you're not intimidated by canning your own jam. It's the simplest thing you could ever do, and it preserves that fresh taste of summer. Let me know in the comments if you've ever cooked anything with lavender before. Did it turn out good for you? Did it taste like soap or potpourri? And believe me, I've been there, and I want to hear about it. If you like this video, consider subscribing. We do homemade recipes, canning, and urban homesteading every week. And I'd love to have you along. Next week, I have something big coming. So I'm going to the farmer's market Saturday. Today is Thursday. I'm hoping to score a big 25 pounds of blueberries for a decent price there. And I'm going to show you every single way I preserve them. Jellies, syrups, pie filling, and a couple other things. You're not going to want to miss that one. So like I said, hit the subscribe button so you get notified every time I post a new video. Thanks again for joining me today, guys, and I'll see you in next week's video. Bye for now.